Season 3 of Halo Infinite is just a few days away. Finally. This game's been out for how long? A year and a half? I'm not getting any younger, but I'm looking forward to this. This is the biggest content drop 343 has done yet, and hopefully this marks the start of shorter seasonality. That's the plan. At least. I'm just not going to hold my breath on it. But there's a lot to be excited about. In the meantime, we got the Bandit DMR, the Shroud screen, brand new maps, a 100-tier battle pass. This video is going to be my pre-season review. Everything I'm most excited about coming out in the season and how I think that these changes will affect the game going forward. From the perspective of someone who's a little bit more competitive Halo-minded. I like everything in Halo. Most of all, I like to sweat. But regardless of what kind of Halo fan you are, I think everyone's got something to enjoy with Season 3. So let's get into it. We'll start with what I'm most excited about, and that's this Bandit DMR.
It's going to be an on-map pickup. It's a 5-shot kill, and it's got a little bit of recoil and some kick there, but so far from what players have been telling us on the floor here as they've been playing this, they really love it. Kind of harkens back to the Halo 5 pistol for those fans that love it from that game. And yeah, it should be a lot of fun. And you know, a lot of players are telling us and asking, you know, is this going to be the new starting weapon for HCS maybe next year? And, you know, we're thinking about it. We're going to listen to the feedback. Yeah, stay tuned. We'll see what happens.
I've heard some good things about this weapon from people who went to HCS Charlotte and gave it a try. They said it most resembles the Halo 5 Magnum. Tashi had said it as well. It's definitely got my hopium up a little bit as someone who really enjoyed the Halo 5 Magnum, felt it was a great competitive starting weapon. It's making me wonder, does this gun have starting weapon potential? Based off what I've seen, what I like about this weapon so far is it is a 5-shot precision weapon like the H5 Magnum, like a DMR, 4 shots to break the shield, 1 shot to the head for the kill, or 7 body shots. Precision weapons tend to be very skillful and very consistent. You either hit the shot for the kill or you don't. And if you do hit the shot, it's pretty accurate feedback. Like, it's easy to tell if your shot hit or not. You just get the 1 hit marker, as opposed to the BR where you're tracking a full burst. And sometimes I find it's kind of hard to tell if everything is tagging the opponent, and that can kind of, you know, affect gameplay. Consistency is really important in competitive play. On the other hand, this weapon's got some bloom, and I think it's safe to say the Halo community has some PTSD from bloom in Halo.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
I think it's safe to say that bloom in Halo Reach was not a good look. It was wild and random. It was hard to tell if you should spam or pace your shot. It took skill out of the encounter. So now bloom, I think, is always kind of a risky topic to work around. It's not that it can't work, because if we look at the sidekick in Infinite, I think the sidekick works pretty well, and that has bloom. So I think it really comes down to how wide it expands and how quickly that bloom resets. And based off of what I've seen with the Bandit, it looks like at least now, there's barely any bloom. It's very insignificant. It doesn't seem to go past the outer reticle around the center point, and it seems to reset pretty quickly. Does it need to be there? Maybe not, because the weapon clearly does have noticeable kick, and that's going to make accuracy a little bit more difficult. But I think the primary reason why it is there is to slow down the clearly very fast rate of fire. The rate of fire and the time to kill on this gun under perfect circumstances is very fast. Very fast. That's what, like 1 second? That's very fast, right? So, yes, it's close quarters. Yes, the guy's standing still and it's like perfect circumstances. But when I think, like, is this starting weapon potential, and I see that, you know, it's got me a little bit concerned. It makes me think, okay, that's kind of crazy. At the same time, though, depending on how difficult it actually is to, like, wield in combat, the big thing that I like about a precision weapon is the option for a variance in time to kill. If there's a high variance, like, yes, you can kill very fast. But in a typical encounter, if it's very difficult and there's like a wide difference between a good player and a not so skilled player, then there's always a chance that if you get shot in the back, you can turn around and just burn somebody instantly. And I think outplayability is a big kind of key component of skill expression in competitive Halo. So basically, if this somehow leads to a wide variance in time to kill and a lot of room for skillful outplays in 1v1s, this might actually be a good thing. We won't really know till we give it a try, and I'm kind of curious to see, you know, how much that kick actually affects the accuracy when we're moving around in combat. The other aspect of the weapon that is both a good thing and a bad thing, and I'm not sure about it just yet, is the lack of a scope on the gun. It's got no scope, which on one hand is good, because it's going to limit its effective range. One of the issues I think with the BR currently in competitive is it's just got crazy range. You can cross map with it pretty easily, which I think makes the BR feel very powerful and takes some of the skill out of long range encounters, especially for things like spawn control. Like think of a map like Empyrean with very open spawns. Because the BR is so effective at range, you're just melting players off spawn. You're not really working as hard for it, which almost hurts the map design as well. It can kind of snowball the game. So the Bandit, alternatively, shorter range to work with. You got to work harder for longer range kills, meaning players have more room to kind of escape and maneuver, and also encourages you to either, close the distance or pick up another weapon on the map. Use the sandbox as well. On top of the fact that I feel like the M&K community will appreciate starting with just a straight shooting precision weapon. So there's a lot of good here. At the same time, though, not having a scope is also kind of a bad thing, too, because it means there's no descoping anymore, right? You can aim down sight, but then you're not going to get descoped at an aim down sight. Scope battles is a big part of skill expression in Halo Infinite as well. So I feel like for starting weapon potential, the Bandit is like almost there. It's got a lot of good things, and I'm really excited to use it. But I almost want to like slap a BR scope on it, but shorten the range of the BR scope so you're not scoping quite as far, and you're getting the same kind of aim assist. Like long range fights are still difficult, but you still have scope battles as well. Either way, I'm just excited to try it out. And I do know that the BR is still very loved and still very iconic as a starting weapon. So I'm not saying things need to be this way, but more so that if you're a ranked player or competitive focused player, give your feedback. Let 343 know what you think, because they are thinking about whether or not this has potential as a starting weapon. In the meantime, though, it's going to sit on the assault rifle rack where the assault rifle used to be. You can see it on streets. If they do that on live fire, then it would be like top tower and in the window. I guess there would be two of them. Note that several weapons are being vaulted from competitive for Season 3 as well. So the Pulse Carbine, the Mangler, for example, they're going to be removed. They might be brought back in the future, but for now, they'll be gone. So I'm wondering what's going to go there. Do you put the assault rifle there instead? I think you could still have that, of course, in competitive, sparingly. The sidekick, having more of the sidekick, I'm sure people would like to see. But you want to have some diversity beyond just UNSC weapons as well. So let me know what you guys think of, what they might be putting on these racks and like what would be the best kind of placement for these weapons. Speaking of weapons being replaced, equipment is being replaced on these maps as well. Now that we have the Shroud screen in the mix, something's got to go. Turns out the Shroud screen is going to be on streets and live fire. If it was up to me, I would just replace it with a drop wall on both of these maps. I do actually like the drop wall and its utility in some cases, but I'd rather have a repulsor and I'd rather have a thrust. Based off of what I've seen in the footage, though, it looks like the Shroud screen is replacing the thrust on streets. I'm curious to know what you guys think about this. I do know that Streets is a very fast-paced map, and that has been a criticism of the map recently. I like the thrust personally when I'm just playing matchmaking. It's a fun utility to outplay with, but maybe it makes more sense. Maybe depending on the game type, like King of the Hill, for example, it could be good to have a Shroud screen instead of a thrust. Maybe in Slayer you want a thrust, but Slayer is also very snowbally. So I don't know. I'm curious to hear your thoughts on this. Of course, the Shroud screen, interested to see how it'll go in competitive. It is kind of just like a more versatile smoke. You drop it down. It's a visual blocker. You can shoot through it both ways. Sit inside it. We'll see what people do with it and kind of what the meta is around it. But let me know your thoughts on kind of where it should go on these maps and if it should replace thrust, repulsor, drop wall, etc. With that said, let's talk maps. First, we actually have the return of Recharge. Recharge was removed from ranked matchmaking due to a power weapon related bug. It's coming back in Season 3. I'm curious to see what they'll do with the weapon placements. With no Mangler, what will they put there? Will it be the Bandit? With no sword, will they remove the sword and put something else there? If it was up to you, what would you put on the sword platform? I honestly have no idea. Curious to see what they do with that. And then detachment, I don't know if it's coming back, to be honest. I don't really care. I'd rather not see it if it was up to me. No shots to detachment. I just feel like it's not the best map in the pool. Let's look at these new maps, though. This is the YouTube video on the Halo page. These maps, off the bat, they are beautiful. Graphically speaking, I'm a big fan. Unique locations. This one, Cliffhanger, reminds me a lot of Halo Reach. Powerhouse on Halo Reach, something about it. Maybe Halo 4 vibes I'm getting a little bit as well. Both this map, Cliffhanger, and Chasm, they're social maps. They've been confirmed to be social maps. They will not be going into ranked play. Kind of feel like there's a missed opportunity. Maybe not with Cliffhanger. Cliffhanger, this map is huge. It's a big map. It's a pretty map. It's a really big map, so I can see it, you know, kind of being difficult to play in ranked. You've got that lift that sends you all the way across the center of the map as well, which looks like a fun time, kind of like Narrows, but also, you know, maybe kind of gimmicky. Either way, I'm still going to be skill jumping on here, just seeing what I can find. Any kind of cool movement, I'm definitely going to, you know, have some fun with it. I think a map like this might be fun for maybe a King of the Hill or a Strongholds, maybe for 5v5 or 6v6 or multi-team, something like that. Then you have Chasm. Chasm is really cool, in my opinion. This does definitely look like Campaign, just repurposed, but I think there are a lot of beautiful locales in Campaign that you could just throw into a map like this. A lot of easy ways to die on here as well, but also could be fun to jump around on. You got 2 snipers on this map too, which is pretty exciting. I kind of would want to see this in ranked. Just try it, you know? Like, I'm just kind of curious to, you know, maybe it won't be good for ranked. I'm sure it's been tested, and that's why it's not going to just land there. But, you know, we could always use more maps. I'd be down to give maybe CTF a try here. A lot of open space, a lot of easy deaths on this map. I'm not sure how I feel about the, I'm going to go back, the hallways, the flat hallways as well, just like wide flat hallways with no real cover, not really much room to hit like a curb slide. It doesn't look like there's a lot of, you know, curb slide options. There's some good ones through the center of the map. Jumping around in the center of the map looks you know, pretty satisfying as well. So I'm definitely going to be jumping on here. I'm sure it'll be fun to play on social. Of course, it's going to be coupled with that new Escalation Slayer social game type. I believe it's like kind of like gun game, but team gun game, basically. Spawn with different weapons. There's a whole list of what you spawn with. I'll put that on screen in case you guys don't already know. But map looks sick. And then you got Oasis. I'm not really a BTB guy. Like I said, I'm more competitive-minded, but this is hands down the most beautiful BTB map I've ever seen in my life. Like, this is a gorgeous. Like, this makes me want to play it just because it looks so pretty. I love the aesthetic, like the change in aesthetic from the desert landscape to the lush like greenery, and then the Forerunner structures outside it. It's just gorgeous. The beautiful, you know, blue sky and the clouds and stuff too. Like, man, like visually speaking, I'm floored by this map. It's just hands down beautiful, incredible job from 343 here. A lot of like, there's a lot going on here too. I'm not really, obviously it's a BTB map, so 12v12, it's huge. But look at this area of the layout, like kind of like Halo 5, the rig vibes I'm getting in here with this like industrial kind of, you know, environment here. And then you got the combination of the lush, like greenery, the vines and whatnot over this, you know, this powerful kind of orange, glow and hue, of the, you know, the industrial kind of environment. Really cool though. Really damn cool. I'll definitely give it a try. Not as much of a social guy, but that looks like the best BTB map I've ever seen. Now, while Chasm and Cliffhanger have been confirmed to not come to ranked play, if you are starved for ranked maps, note that there is one on the way. Tashi confirmed the next map is PLASA. Remember, 343 is still remaking Halo 5's PLASA. It's supposed to be coming mid-Season 3, so hopefully that's sooner rather than later. I'm personally very excited about PLASA, and also very worried at the same time. PLASA is my favorite Halo 5 map, probably hands down. Part of the reason why I love it is because of the movement on the map. It's incredible. There's so many different skill jumps and ways to navigate the map. And knowing 343, it's weird because they made Halo 5, they made that map. But now I feel like with Infinite, they're going to find a way to just remove all of what made it so, you know, iconic, in my opinion, and take out a lot of the jumps. There are some things that I do think were, you know, a little bit ridiculous, but there's also so much about that map that made it so unique and exciting to navigate. So we'll see. Either way, I'm excited about that regardless. There's so many other maps in the works that I want to talk about. Maybe I'll just save it for a different video. What I will do, if you want some spoilers and you're excited for new Infinite content, look up ISO leaks on YouTube. I've been finding all my map content there. They've got just multiple really beautiful looking maps that I think will work for competitive play. There's one called a forest map or something. There's one called Beltway. Beltway looks like rig, but like small. The forest one looks like kind of like Sanctuary. Like, honestly, I'm very excited. If this stuff comes out in the near future, I think there's big things planned for Halo. I think, you know, there's a comeback in session if they can just get the ball rolling with some of this content. Beyond that, I'm hoping to see continued improvements with Forge in performance and visuals. You've got a lot of really talented Forge developers creating some really nice looking maps, and some of them I think could work in a competitive environment. We already have maps like Argyle and Empyrean that are Forge made that are in competitive, so why not a map like Starbird, right? So like there's some opportunity there, and I just hope that continues, to get built out and we just get more content in these ranked playlists. But it's just exciting, right? There's a lot of different areas where I'm starting to see momentum, and I hope that that continues. Of course, the last kind of area to touch on, I think that I haven't, is cosmetics. I'm not really a cosmetic guy, so this is not my wheelhouse. I believe it's a 100 tier battle pass coming out. The new cosmetics do actually look really pretty. I'm getting a lot of Crisis 3, like Crisis vibes on the armor, but I like a lot of it. It looks nice. You've also got the HCS skins. They're cool. They went kind of bold with the HCS skins, I think. Like, I respect it, but I don't know how much I love it. Like, they're just kind of out there. But the SSG one, for example, I think does look, pretty sweet. It's got like a lot of little details in it, and the armor core in general is pretty damn cool. So hopefully we continue to see that built out and more creativity. Like MCC, for example, has like, fancy backpacks, like a Fall Guys backpack or whatever, like little things like that just add personality to the game without going too far from the Halo universe to the point where it's just wacky and ridiculous. One last little footnote before I go is just the continued improvements to ranked matchmaking. And I think this is a step in the right direction. Tashi tweeted about this recently, where matchmaking in ranked now is dependent on CSR instead of hidden MMR. I've been playing ranked and I've been enjoying this so far. Basically, if you're a diamond ranked player, for example, you're going to match with other diamond ranked players. And then once you match, it'll balance the teams based on your hidden MMR, as opposed to my experience, for example, where let's say you play your placements and you ranked in Diamond 5, but the game thinks that you're actually like Onyx 1750 or something, so it gives you matches with Onyx like 1750 while you're at Diamond 5. You're already playing these sweaty games. And now you're going to play Diamond players, which means that if you're not a Diamond player, you might win and level up quickly and then get to where you're supposed to be. So you're just playing at the level you're supposed to be, and I think that's going to improve ranked overall. So just one of those like little quality life improvements you love to see, and I hope that they continue to add to this by having something like a champion rank, having a Spartan ranking system, just more incentives to continue to grind the game and compete, and little accolades that you get along the way. But steps in the right direction all around for once is really just kind of the theme of this little review coming into Season 3. I'm very excited with what's coming up. Let me know what you guys think of all the new content and what you're most excited for. Hopefully the momentum continues. Hopefully we keep riding the wave. If you guys like this content, if there's more you want to see from me, make sure to hit the sub button. Check out my related videos right beside me. And as always, I'll see you soon. Good luck on the way.